Good morning.
Hi.
How we doing? Things moving along? Ooh, vocab?
Yep.
Got some vocab going on?
Yep.
Nice. Well, who wants lunch today? No one? All right. Is this your normal group? You have three?
Yep.
Okay, good. All righty.
Yep. Couple more minutes, then we'll go over this together. Anyone need more time before we go over them? Okay, number one says American society has become blank in its many culturally rich communities. So it has people from all over the place, many different types. This one would be
Revel.
something that means many different types. Which number are we on? 1. American society or American culture has become blank in its many cultures.
I think you gave us the wrong worksheet because I've been having a lot. The first one for us is after winning the state championship, the soccer players blank in celebratory cheers and carried the winning goal scorer off in the field of glory. Oh, you gave us Unit 9.
Oh no, that's next week's. Yeah, that's
Well, I still think that Revel would still
Rebel would fit that. Yes, that was good. So did
You
you
know-
fill out 20 of them?
No, I did not. I've been struggling this whole entire time silently.
Asked.
Well, I didn't think to look at the thingy.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I have next week's. Well,
I'm gonna just put this in my backpack for
That's
next week.
yeah, hang on to that. Or, I mean, I have extras. I can give you a new one. Tomorrow we'll do group prefixes and suffixes. I'm not gonna make you sit there and do it again.
Okay.
I was looking for multifarious. Remember?
I was about to say, what are you talking about?
Well, I'm sure it was hard because you didn't even have a word bank.
Hey, at least I got a pretty good one though.
Yeah,
I got the
well,
first one and that's it.
I got the first one and then I got one on the back. What did I put on the back?
It's supposed to, multifarious, and it has the Capulet and Montague families held extreme animosity toward each other that unfortunately resulted in devastating children. I'll print this one up.
Yeah, I only got 2 of them. Out of all 20, I only put 2 down, and that was I put Rebel on the first one. Then on the 12th one, I put Swap because it was like smooth and social situations. It's talking about the student learning Spanish.
Oh, yeah.
So I put the student swab attempt, and I'm like, I hope this is right.
Okay, let's retry that. Come on. Okay, let's, actually, I'll have you log into Common Lit.
Ooh, story time.
After today, we can start counting down in single digits to the end.
Right, because this only lasts for like 3 weeks, right?
Yeah, so today we have 10 days left. Tomorrow.
Okay, so 3 hours for 3 weeks for like 5 days a week.
45 hours, 303 of us. We're gonna read another Ray Bradbury story today, so it's our third and final futuristic Ray Bradbury. Try to predict what's gonna happen.
My little brother's been on my Chromebook again. I know because it keeps on suggesting freaking cool math.
At least you play some things. Oh no, no.
I put on my new password.
I just log in with Google. And select
Same.
School
Like mine autofills,
email.
but then it says, oh, that's not existent. That does not exist.
That should be all that.
So then I do log in with Google and then it logs me in. You like Ray Bradbury, don't you? Don't we just read his, like, isn't this like the third story of his that we've read? Or was that something
Yeah, this
else?
is the third story of his, and then I think junior year you read Fahrenheit 451, which is his novel.
I've heard of that from my mom one day.
Where they
time.
burn books.
Okay, well, I'm gonna
Yeah.
make a new friend.
I think I can like
Open.
re-invite you. I need to.
Yeah, can I just need to do Clark's code.
It is capital W 6 N.
Oh.
Okay. A Sound of Thunder is from 1952. We know that he was an American author. He lived all the way to 2012, so he probably got to see a lot of his predictions come true or things turn out differently than he had expected. Bradbury wrote in various genres, including fantasy, sci-fi, horror, and mystery fiction. In this short story, set in the future, of course, a man travels back in time to when the dinosaurs walked the earth. As you read, take notes on Ethel's actions while he is in the past. Is it letting you in, Marissa?
Yeah, now it is.
Okay.
Gosh.
And then, of course, we will stop.
I was about to say the question one thing isn't appearing. I can't click on it, but I found. Oh my gosh, 11 questions. Jesus.
Yeah, it's longer. The assessment questions, there's 8, and then
Oh God. I'm used to like
How does this link work? Like,
7 questions.
so as you read, I'm gonna read aloud, and then as we go, we'll stop, click on the little bubbles with the Q1 in it, and then answer questions, and then it'll let you read on. Okay, so it's set in the future, but we're gonna travel all the way back to dinosaurs being alive. The sign on the wall seemed to quiver under a film of sliding warm water. Eccles felt his eyelids blink over his stare, and the sign burned in this momentary darkness. Time Safari Incorporated. Safaris to any year in the past. You name the animal, we take you there. You shoot it. So what is
Whoa.
it for?
It's a hunting thing.
Hunting trip. A warm phlegm.
Of course they would do that crap.
To dinosaurs. A warm phlegm gathered in Eccles' throat. He swallowed and pushed it down. The muscles around his mouth formed a smile as he put his hand slowly out upon the air, and in that hand waved a check for $10,000 to the man behind the desk. Does this safari guarantee I come back alive? We guarantee nothing, said the official, except the dinosaurs. He turned. This is Mr. Travis, your safari guide in the past. He'll tell you what and where to shoot. If he says no shooting, no shooting. If you disobey instructions, there's a stiff penalty of another $10,000 plus possible government action on your return. Eccles glanced across the vast office in a mass and tangle, a snaking and humming of wires and steel boxes, at an aurora that flickered now orange, now silver, now blue. There was a sound like a gigantic bonfire burning all of time, all the years and all the parchment calendars, all the hours piled high and set aflame. A touch of the hand and his burning would, on the instant, beautifully reverse itself. Eccles remembered the wording in the advertising stiletto. Out of chars and ashes, out of dust and coals, like golden salamanders, the old years, the green years might leap, roses sweeten the air, white hair turn Irish black, wrinkles vanish, everything fly back to seed, flee death, rush down to their beginnings. Suns rise in western skies and set in glorious east, moons eat themselves opposite to the custom, all the everything cupping one and another like Chinese larks, rabbits and hags, all and everything, returning the fresh death, the seed death, the green death, the time before the beginning. A touch of a hand might do it, the merest touch of a hand. Did any of that really make sense?
No.
No, it's just wordy. What type of service does Time Safari Inc. provide? A timeshare service for safaris, a time travel service for safaris, a time-keeping service for safaris, or a time-saving service?
Travel.
Time travel. B. Unbelievable, Eccles breathed, the light of the machine on his thin face. A real time machine. He shook his head. Makes you think. If the election had gone badly yesterday, I might be here now running away from the results. Thank God Keith won. He'll make a fine president of the United States. Yes, said the man behind the desk. We're lucky. If Dukeshire had gotten in, we'd have the worst kind of dictatorship. There's an anti-everything man for you. A militarist, anti-Christ, anti-human, anti-intellectual. People called us up, joking but not joking. Said if Dukeshire became president, they wanted to go live in 1492. Of course, it's not our business to conduct escapes, but to form safaris. Anyway, Keith's president now. All you got to worry about is shooting my dinosaur. Eccles finished it for him. A Tyrannosaurus Rex, the tyrant lizard, the most incredible monster in history. Sign this release. anything happens to you, we're not responsible. Those dinosaurs are hungry. Question 2. Which of the following describes why Eccles wants to go back in time? He wants to escape his life in the present. He wants to hunt and kill a dinosaur. He wants to see a dinosaur in its natural habitat. Or he wants to prove that he is brave enough to face a dinosaur.
He wants to hunt and kill a dinosaur.
B, he wants to hunt and kill a dinosaur. Notice how they mention another election year. Ray Bradbury always brought up different elections very subtly.
Okay, here's the thing though. I feel like it is a time machine, and people, they're always like, if you go back in time, don't mess with anything or else you can mess up the timeline. So honestly, the other guy could have won like in 6 different timelines, but they would have went back and changed it.
Right. People might try to.
Does he have like another story about like a time machine?
I don't know. Maybe this is the one that Mr. Watkins reads this with fresh.
Oh. I really never heard.
And here's some Bergeron that does it different. But Mr. Watkins is the only one that reads it. Did you have him freshman year?
No.
Maybe
But,
someone did.
But like I've heard this before.
Okay, let's take our 15-minute break before going back. So we can go to the bathroom.
Oh, nice. So it's hard to braid your hair and have a scrunchie and tie it with a scrunchie. So I took a spare, I have a lot of masks in my backpack. You never know. Like if you're, my little brother, he's 11. Yeah, he's 11. He turns 12 now. I have 3 brothers. I have to think about it every now and then. But my little brother, even though he's 11, he's also ADHD like me. So like he's a mess like constantly. And if he forgets a mask or he loses a mask or he makes a mess on his mask, which he somehow can do, I have spares at all time.
Sure.
Yeah. So I did not think much about braiding my hair today, but my bun was just not working. So I'm like, I'm gonna braid my hair. But then I realized I don't have, this is too big for a braid.
Innovative.
So I made a hair tie out of my mask. I've also made bandages out of masks. Like my friend accidentally impaled her hand with a charm bracelet. So I kind of just went like this, but the things were still on, and I kind of wrapped it, and then boom, she had a Band-Aid. Whatever works. Hello, peoples. Now I have this. Hello. We are reading stories. Hello. We are reading stories. Save. Saved. Open Messenger so I can share it to all my friends. I am the only one in the classroom, so I can. Hope you'll realize I'm gonna have to go back and see what she meant by that smile. By Were they? You looked today.
What do you do?
Okay, this is gonna sound weird, but can I just say you look like someone who's about to go hunting? I know that's weird and out of context and completely random, but my dad has a bunch of neon stuff. So he'll put on like gray sweatpants and then he'll put on like a neon orange shirt and he's like, I'm gonna go hunting. And he does, but I don't know. You reminded me of that.
The thermostats here are also.
Okay, let's pick back up after question 2. Starts with Eccles flushed angrily. So the guy just said, anything happens to you, we're not responsible. Those dinosaurs are hungry. Eccles flushed angrily. You trying to scare me? Frankly, yes. We don't want anyone going who will panic at the first shot. 6 safari leaders were killed last year and a dozen hunters. We're here to give you the severest thrill a real hunter ever asked for, traveling you back 60 million years to bag the biggest game in all of time. Your personal check's still there. Tear it up. Mr. Eccles looked at the check. His fingers twitched. Good luck, said the man behind the desk. Mr. Travis, he's all yours. They moved silently across the room, taking their guns with them toward the machine, toward the silver metal and the roaring light. First a day, and then a night, and then a day, and then a night. Then it was day, night, day. A week, a month, a year, a decade. 80, 20, 55, 80, 2019, 1999, 1957. Gone. The machine roared. They put on their oxygen helmets and tested the intercoms. Eccles swayed on the padded seat, his face pale, his jaw stiff. He felt the trembling in his arms, then he looked down and found his hands tight on the new rifle. There were 4 other men in the machine. Travis, the safari leader, his assistant, Les Burns, and 2 other hunters, Billings and Kramer. They sat looking at each other, and the years blazed around them. Can these guns get a dinosaur cold? Eccles felt his mouth saying. If you hit him right, said Travis on the helmet radio. Some dinosaurs have 2 brains, one in the head, another far down the spinal column. You stay away from those. That's stretching luck. Put your first 2 shots into the eyes if you can, blind them, and go back into the brain. The machine howled. Time was a film run backward. Suns fled and 10 million moons fled after them. Think, said Eccles, every hunter that ever lived would envy us today. This makes Africa seem like Illinois. Question 3. The hunters want to kill dinosaurs because A, they enjoy the thrill of the hunt. B, they use the dinosaurs for food. C, the dinosaurs are dangerous. Or D, that dinosaurs are easy to hunt.
A, they enjoy the thrill of the hunt.
Good. They enjoy it. The machine slowed. Its scream fell to a murmur. The machine stopped. The sun stopped in the sky. The fog that had enveloped the machine blew away, and they were in an old time, a very old time indeed. 3 hunters and 2 safari heads with their blue metal guns across their knees. Christ isn't born yet, said Travis. Moses has not gone to the mountain to talk with God. The pyramids are still in the earth, waiting to be cut out and put up. Remember that. Alexander, Caesar, Napoleon, none of them exists. The men nodded. That, Mr. Travis pointed, is the jungle of 60,002,055 years before President Keith. He indicated a metal path that struck off into green wilderness, over streaming swamp among giant ferns and palms. And that, he said, is the path laid by Time Safari for your use. It floats 6 inches above the earth, doesn't touch so much as one grass blade, flower, or tree. It's an anti-gravity metal. Its purpose is to keep you from touching this world of the past in any way. Stay on the path. Don't go off it. I repeat, don't go off for any reason. If you fall off, there's a penalty. And don't shoot any animal we don't okay. Why? Asked Eccles. They sat in the ancient wilderness. Far birds' cries blew on a wind, and the smell of tar, and an old salt sea, moist grasses, and flowers the color of blood. We don't want to change the future. We don't belong here in the past. The government doesn't like us here. We have to pay big graft to keep our franchise. A time machine is finicky business. Not knowing it, we might kill an important animal, a small bird, a roach, a flower even, thus destroying an important link in a growing species. That's not clear, said Eccles. All right, Travis continued. Say we accidentally kill one mouse here. That means all the future families of this one particular mouse are destroyed, right? Right. And all the families of the families of the families of that one mouse. With a stamp of your foot, you annihilate the first one, then a dozen, then 1,000, 1,000,000, 1,000,000,000 possible mice. So they're dead, said Eccles. So what? So what? Travis snorted quietly. Well, what about the foxes that'll need those mice to survive? For want of 10 mice, a fox dies. For one of 10 foxes, a lion starves. For one of a lion, all manner of insects, vultures, infinite billions of life forms are thrown into chaos and destruction. Eventually, it all boils down to this. 59 million years later, a caveman, one of a dozen in the entire world, goes hunting wild boar or saber-toothed tiger for food. But you, friend, have stepped on all the tigers in that region by stepping on one single mouse, so the caveman starves. And the caveman, please note, is not just any expendable man, no. He is an entire future nation. From his loins would have sprung 10 sons, from their loins 100 sons, and thus onward to a civilization. Destroying this one man, and you destroy a race, a people, an entire history of life. It is comparable to slaying some of Adam's grandchildren. The stomp of your foot on one mouse could start an earthquake, the effects of which could shake our earth and destinies down through time to their very foundations. With the death of that one caveman, a billion others yet unborn are throttled in the womb. Perhaps Rome never rises on its 7 hills. Perhaps Europe is forever a dark forest, and only Asia waxes healthy and teeming. Step on a mouse and you crush the pyramids. Step on a mouse and you leave your print like a Grand Canyon across eternity. Queen Elizabeth might never be born. Washington might not cross the Delaware. There might never be a United States at all. So be careful. Stay on the path. Never step off. Question 4. What might happen if the hunters step off the path? A. They could be killed by a dinosaur. They won't be able to return to the time machine. They could be stranded in the past, or they could unintentionally change the future.
They could unintentionally change the future.
B. They could unintentionally change the future. I see, said Eccles. Then it wouldn't pay for us even to touch the grass? Correct. Crushing certain plants could add up infinitesimally. So, to infinity. A little error here would multiply in 60 million years, all out of proportion. Of course, maybe our theory is wrong. Maybe time can't be changed by us. Maybe it can be changed only in subtle ways. A dead mouse here makes an insect imbalance there, a population disproportion later, a bad harvest further on, depression, mass starvation, and finally, a change in social temperament in far-flung countries. Something much more subtle like that. Perhaps only a soft breath, a whisper, a hair, pollen in the air, such a slight change that unless you looked close, you wouldn't see it. Who knows? Who really can say he knows? We don't know, we're guessing. But until we do know for certain whether our messing around in time can make a big roar or a little rustle in history, we're being careful. This machine, this path, your clothing and bodies were sterilized, as you know, before the journey. We wear these oxygen helmets so we can't introduce our bacteria into an ancient atmosphere. How do we know which animals to shoot? They're marked with red paint, said Travis. Today, before our journey, we sent Lesperus, here back with the machine. He came to this particular era and followed certain animals. Studying them? Right, said Les Burns. I tracked them through their entire existence, noting which of them lives longest, very few, how many times they mate, not often, life's short. When I find one that's going to die when a tree falls on him, or one that drowns in the tar pit, I note the exact hour, minute, and second. I shoot a paint bomb. It leaves a red patch on his side. We can't miss it. Then I correlate our arrival in the past so that we meet the monster, not more than 2 minutes before he would have died anyway. This way we kill only animals with no future, that are never going to mate again. You see how careful we are? Question 5. Why does Les Burns mark the animals they are hunting? They're animals that the men can easily hunt. They're animals whose deaths won't affect the future. They're animals that are going to go extinct anyways. Or they are weaker animals that won't positively contribute to evolution.
They're animals whose deaths won't affect the future.
Their deaths won't affect the future. They're going to die within 2 minutes anyway. But if you came back this morning in time, said Eccles eagerly, you must have bumped into us. Our safari, how did it turn out? Was it successful? Did all of us get through alive? Travis and Les first gave each other a look. That would be a paradox, said the latter. Time doesn't permit that sort of mess, a man meeting himself, which such occasions threaten. Time steps aside like an airplane hitting an air pocket. You felt the machine jump just before we stopped? That was us passing ourselves on the way back to the future. We saw nothing. There's no way of telling if this expedition was a success, if we got our monster, or whether all of us, meaning you, Mr. Eccles, got a lot. Eccles smiled palely. Cut that, said Travis sharply. Everyone on his feet. They were ready to leave the machine. The jungle was high, and the jungle was broad, and the jungle was the entire world, forever and forever. Sounds like music and sounds like flying tents filled the sky, and those were pterodactyls soaring with cavernous gray wings, gigantic bats of delirium and night fever. Eccles balanced on the narrow path, aimed his rifle playfully. Stop that, said Travis. Don't even aim for fun, blast you. If your gun should go off, Eccles flushed. Where's our Tyrannosaurus? Les Burns checked his wristwatch. Up ahead. We'll dissect his trail in 60 seconds. Look for the red paint. Don't shoot till we give the word. Stay on the path. Stay on the path. They moved forward in the wind of morning. Strange, murmured Eccles. Up ahead, 60 million years. Election day over. Keith made president. Everyone's celebrating, and here we are. 1 million years lost, and they don't exist. The things we worried about for months, a lifetime, not even born or thought of yet. Safety catches off, everyone, ordered Travis. You, first shot Eccles, second Billings, third Kramer. I've hunted tiger, wild boar, buffalo, elephant, but now this is it, said Eccles. I'm shaking like a kid. Ah, said Travis. Everyone stopped. Travis raised his hand. Ahead, he whispered, in the mist. There he is. There's his royal majesty now. The jungle was wide and full of twitterings, rustlings, murmurs, and sighs. Suddenly it all ceased as if someone had shut a door. Silence. The sound of thunder. Out of the mist, 100 yards away, came Tyrannosaurus Rex. It, whispered Eccles. It. Shh. It came on great, oiled, resilient, striding legs. It towered 30 feet above half of the trees, a great evil god folding its delicate watchmaker's claws close to his oily reptilian chest. Each lower leg was a piston, 1,000 pounds of white bone sunk in thick ropes of muscle, sheathed over in a gleam of pebbled skin, like the mail of a terrible warrior. Each thigh was a ton of neat ivory and steel mesh. And from the great breathing cage of the upper body, those two delicate arms dangled out front, arms with hands which might pick up and examine men like toys, while the snake-necked neck coiled, and the head itself, a ton of sculptured stone, lifted easily upon the sky. Its mouth gaped, exposing a fence, teeth like daggers. Its eyes rolled ostrich eggs, empty of all expression save hunger. It closed its mouth in a death grin. It ran, its pelvic bones crushed aside trees and bushes, its taloned feet clawing damp earth, leaving prints 6 inches deep wherever it settled its weight. It ran with a gliding ballet step, far too poised and balanced for its 10 tons. It moved into the sunlit arena warily, its beautifully reptilian hands feeling the air. Why, Eccles twitched his mouth. It could reach up and grab the moon. Shh, Travis jerked angrily. He hasn't seen us yet. It can't be killed, Eccles pronounced this verdict quietly, as if there could be no argument. He had weighed the evidence, and this was his considered opinion. The rifle in his hand seemed a Kafka. We were fools to come. This is impossible. Question 6. When Eccles sees the Tyrannosaurus Rex, he is A, impressed by its strength and determined to kill it, B, shocked by its size and doubts their ability to hunt it, C, amazed by its appearance and reluctant to kill it, or D, afraid of its size and doesn't want to take the first shot.
B.
What?
B.
B, shocked by its size and doubts their ability to hunt it. Shut up, hissed Travis. Nightmare. Turn around, commanded Travis. Walk quietly to the machine. We'll remit 1/2 your fee, so he'll get $5,000 back. I didn't realize it would be this big, said Eccles. I miscalculated, that's all. And now I want out. It sees us. There's the red paint on its chest. The tyrant lizard raised itself. Its armored flesh glittered like 1,000 green coins. The coins stuck with slime, steam. In the slime, tiny insects wriggled so that the entire body seemed to twitch and undulate, even while the monster itself did not move. It exhaled. The stink of raw flesh blew down the wilderness. Get me out of here, said Eccles. It was never like this before. I was always sure I'd come through alive. I had good guides, good safaris, and safety. This time, I figured wrong. I met my match and admit it. This is too much for me to get a hold of. Don't run, said Lesperance. Turn around. Hide in the machine. Yes, Eccles seemed to be numb. He looked at his feet as if trying to make them move. He gave a grunt of helplessness. Eccles! He turned a few steps, blinking, shuffling. Not that way! The monster, at the first motion, lunged forward with a terrible scream. It covered 100 yards in 6 seconds. The rifles jerked up and blazed fire. A windstorm from the beast's mouth engulfed them in the stench of slime and old blood. The monster roared, teeth glittering in the sun. Eccles, not looking back, walked blindly to the edge of the path, his gun limp in his arms, stepped off the path, and walked, not knowing it, in the jungle. His feet sank into green moss. His legs moved him, and he felt alone and remote from the events behind. Their rifles cracked again. Their sound was lost in shriek and blizzard thunder. The great level of the reptile's tail swung up, lashed sideways. Trees exploded in clouds of leaf and branch. The monster twitched its jeweler's hands down to fondle the men, to twist them in half, to crush them like berries, to cram them into his teeth and its screaming throat. Its boulder stone eyes leveled with the men. They saw themselves mirrored, They fired at the metallic eyelids and the blazing black iris. Like a stone idol, like a mountain avalanche, Tyrannosaurus fell. Thundering, it clutched trees, pulled them with it. It wrenched and tore the metal path. The men flung themselves back and away. The body hit 10 tons of cold flesh and stone. The guns fired. The monster lashed its armored tail, twitched its snake jaws, and lay still. A fount of blood spurted from its throat. Somewhere inside, a sack of fluids burst. Sickening gushes drenched the hunters. They stood, red and glistening. The thunder faded. The jungle was silent. After the avalanche, a green peace. After the nightmare, morning. Billings and Kramer sat on the pathway and threw up. Travis and Lesperance stood with smoking rifles, cursing steadily. Question number 7. How do the men respond to the Tyrannosaurus Rex when it charges them? They run back into the time machine. They work together to kill the dinosaur. Eccles walks away while the other men kill the dinosaur. Or B, Eccles confronts the dinosaur while the other man going. C, Eccles walks away while the other men kill the dinosaur. Where does he walk off to?
The jungle.
Into the jungle. He was not supposed to leave the path, but of course he does. In the time machine, on his face, Eccles lay shivering. He found his way back to the path, climbed into the machine. Travis came walking, glanced at Eccles, took cotton gauze from a metal box, and returned to the others, who were sitting on the path. Clean up. They wiped the blood from their helmets. They began to curse too. The monster lay, a hill of solid flesh. Within, you could hear the sighs and murmurs from the furthest chambers of it died. The organs malfunctioning. Liquids running a final instant from pocket to sac to spleen. Everything shutting off, closing up forever. It was like standing by a wrecked locomotive or a steam shovel at quitting time. All valves being released or levered tight. Bones cracked, the tonnage of its own flesh unbalanced, dead weight snapped, and delicate forearms caught underneath. The meat settled quivering. Another cracking sound. Overhead, a gigantic tree branch broke from its heavy mooring, fell. They crashed upon the dead beast with finality. So that's what was going to kill him. There, Lesperance checked his watch. Right on time. There's the giant tree that was scheduled to fall and kill this animal originally. He glanced at the 2 hunters. You want the trophy picture? What? You can't take a trophy back to the future. The body has to stay right here where it would have died originally, so the insects, birds, and bacteria can get at it, as they were intended to. Everything in balance. The body stays, but we can take a picture of you standing near it. The 2 men tried to think, but gave up, shaking their heads. They let themselves be led along the metal path. They sank wearily into the machine cushions. They gazed back at the ruined monster, the stagnating mound, where already strange reptilian birds and golden insects were busy at the steaming armor. A sound on the floor of the time machine stiffened them. Eccles sat there, shivering. I'm sorry, he said at last. Get up, cried Travis. Eccles got up. Go out on that path alone, said Travis. He had his rifle pointed. You're not coming back in the machine. We're leaving you here. Lesper seized Travis's arm. Wait, stay out of this. Travis shook his hand away. This fool nearly killed us. But it isn't that so much. No, it's his shoes. Look at them. He ran off the path. That ruins us. We'll forfeit thousands of dollars in insurance. We guarantee no one leaves the path. He left it. Oh, the fool. I'll have to report to the government. They might revoke our license to travel. Who knows what he's done to time, to history. Question 8. Why does Travis want Eccles to leave the machine? A, he doesn't think he deserves to return to the future after his cowardice. B, he almost got all the men killed when he refused to shoot the T-Rex. C, he will likely get them all in trouble for stepping off the path and changing the future. Or D, he believes that you can fix the future by leaving Eccles in the past.
C.
C, you will likely get them all in trouble for stepping off the path. Take it easy. All he did was kick up some dirt. How do we know? Cried Travis. We don't know anything. It's all a mystery. Get out of here, Eccles. Eccles fumbled his shirt. I'll pay anything. $100,000. Travis glared at Eccles' checkbook and spat. Get out there. The monster's next to the path. Stick your arms up to your elbows in his mouth. Then you can come back with us. That's unreasonable. The monster's dead, you idiot. The bullets can't be left behind. They don't belong in the past. They might change anything. Here's my knife. Dig them out. The jungle was alive again, full of the old tremorings and bird cries. Eccles turned slowly to regard the primeval garbage dump. That hill of nightmares and terror. After a long time, like a sleepwalker, he shuffled out along the path. He returned, shuddering. 5 minutes later, his arms soaked and red to the elbows. He held out his hands. Each held a number of steel bullets. Then he fell. He lay where he fell, not moving. You didn't have to make him do that, said Les Briggs. Didn't I? It's too early to tell. Travis nudged the still body. He'll live. Next time, he won't go hunting game like this. Okay. He jerked his thumb wearily at Les Briggs. Switch on. Let's go home. Question 9. Why does Travis make Eccles retrieve the bullets from the T-Rex? A, teach him a lesson. B, to hide evidence. C, to sell them when they return home. Or D, to expose him to other dinosaurs.
To teach him a lesson.
Good. We're going to teach him a lesson. 1492, 1776, 1812. They cleaned their hands and faces. They changed their caking shirts and pants. Eccles was up and around again, not speaking. Travis glared at him for a full 10 minutes. Don't look at me, cried Eccles. I haven't done anything. You can tell. Just ran off the path, that's all. A little mud on my shoes. What do you want me to do? Get down and pray? We might need it. I'm warning you, Eccles. I might kill you yet. I've got my gun ready. I'm innocent. I've done nothing. 1999, 2000, 2055. The machine stopped. Get out, said Travis. The room was there as they had left it, but not the same as they had left it. The same man sat behind the same desk, but the same man did not quite sit behind the same desk. Travis looked around swiftly. Everything okay here? He snapped. Fine, welcome home. Travis did not relax. He seemed to be looking at the very atoms of the air itself, at the way the sun poured through the high window. Okay, Eccles, get out. Don't ever come back. Eccles could not move. You heard me, said Travis. What are you staring at? Eccles stood smelling the air, and there was a thing to the air, a chemical taint so subtle, so slight, that only a faint cry of his subliminal senses warned him it was there. The colors, white, gray, blue, orange, in the wall and the furniture and the sky beyond the window were, and there was a feel. His flesh twitched, his hands twitched. He stood, drinking the oddness with the pores of his body. Somewhere, someone must have been screaming one of those whistles that only a dog can hear. His body screamed silence in return. Beyond this room, beyond this wall, beyond this man who was not quite the same, seated at this desk that was not quite the same desk, lay an entire world of streets and people. What sort of world it was now, there was no telling. He could feel them moving there, beyond the walls almost, like so many chess pieces blown in a dry wind. Question 10 of 11. When Eckler returned to the present, he is A, relieved that everything is how they left it, B, nervous of the slight change he can sense, C, horrified to see things have drastically changed, or D, smug about the lack of change that has occurred. Marissa? B, nervous of the slight change he can sense. But the immediate thing was the sign painted on the office wall, the same sign he had read earlier today on first entering. Time Safari Inc. Safaris to any year and the past. You name the animal, we take you there. You shoot it. Eccles felt himself fall into a chair. He fumbled crazily in the thick slime on his boots. He held up a clod of dirt, trembling. No, it can't be. Not a little thing like that, no. Embedded in the mud, glistening green and gold and black, was a butterfly, very beautiful and very dead. Not a little thing like that, not a butterfly, cried Eccles. It fell to the floor, an exquisite thing, a small thing that could upset balances and knock down a line of small dominoes, and then big dominoes, and then gigantic dominoes, all down the years across time. Eccles' mind whirled. It couldn't change things. Killing one butterfly couldn't be that important, couldn't it? His face was cold. His mouth trembled, asking, Who won the presidential election yesterday? The man behind the desk laughed. You joking? You know very well. Dutcher, of course. Who else? Not that fool weakling Keith. We got an Iron Man now, a man with guts. The official stopped. What's wrong? Eccles moaned. He dropped to his knees. He scrabbled at the golden butterfly with shaking fingers. Can't we, he pleaded to the world, to himself, to the officials, to the machine, can't we take it back? Can't we make it alive again? Can't we start over? Can't we? He did not move. Eyes shut, he waited, shivering. He heard Travis breathe loud in the room. He heard Travis shift his rifle, click the safety catch, and raise the weapon. There was a sound of thunder. What is the sound of thunder?
The gun.
The gun's going off. So what did Travis do?
He shot him.
Shot Eccles. By stepping on the butterfly, Eccles A, destroyed the entire butterfly population. B, severely altered human evolution. C, changed the men he initially traveled with. Or D, altered language and the outcome of the election.
D.
D, altered language and the outcome of the election. Remember Dutcher, the guy that won the election? Well, now he won the election, is the dictator. So now they've got a dictator as president. Okay, I would like you to do all 8 assessment questions and then the 1 discussion question. And then we have 1 more assignment today.
Yes.
I'll be real with you. I was not expecting that. I was expecting him to get eaten by the T-Rex. I thought he'd get eaten and then the other guys would run and then it'd mess up the timeline, not the literal butterfly effect.
I posted the assignment, but wait to start it until I explain it.
Okay.
Wait, are we doing assessment questions on common life?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
10-minute break, and then at 11, I'll explain the assignment. So we'll have plenty of time to work on that.
classroom. Hi. I looked up and I'm like, I'm the only one in the classroom, and then you walk in. I should probably open up that thingy. Yeah. Oh, she didn't post it. Took off my jacket because I got hot, but now I'm cold again. I can't find my sleeve.
write a letter to Ray Bradbury. I know he's dead, so it's just a hypothetical letter to your life. It says, after reading Ray Bradbury's short stories, there will come soft rains, a pedestrian, and a sound of thunder. The assignment is to write a hypothetical letter to him. A letter to Ray Bradbury from the future. Technically, we are from the future to Ray Bradbury. Ray probably imagined our world in 2021 many times while brainstorming for his stories. So in this letter, you are going to address these topics: mental health in 2021, family dynamics, society's relationship with technology, and socioeconomics, including politics in 2021. What was Ray Bradbury correct about? What was he wrong about? You can either assure him that our society is not as scary as we thought it might be, or tell him that he was correct. Explain your reasoning and use example. Use plenty of examples from life today. So you're talking about 2021. Obviously, in some cases, he was talking about 2055. So you can tell him maybe we are headed in that direction, or no, we are not. Remember, he died in 2012. So what has changed since then? What did he live to experience come true from his predictions? Think cell phones, TV, advertising, book sales, things like that. Your letter should read like a letter. So it's from your point of view. You'll start with Dear Ray Bradbury, hit enter. I believe you were incorrect about blah, 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 because blah, blah, blah. But you were correct about this because blah, blah, blah. Your letter will be 1 page long, MLA formatting. So that includes a header. However, it's going to be single spaced instead of double spaced. So Times New Roman size 12 font. Up here, I'm going to format this page in MLA and do the header. If you need a reminder, first I'll change it to Times New Roman font. Size 12. The default is 11. We're going to leave it. Actually, we're going to change it to single space. Sorry. No, our header will be double spaced. You're welcome. That takes up a lot of room. So my name, this will be your first and last name, your teacher's name, your class, and the due date, which is today, 14 June 2021, in that order. Hit enter. This is where you will change it to single spaced. Dear Ray Bradbury. Hit enter and start typing. Make sense? Page long. So what he was right about, what he was wrong about, what you think he was warn us of.
Yes. Blah, 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 blah.
Makes sense.
Very inspirational.
Any questions?
No.
You have plenty of time to work on this. Make sure you submit it on Google Classroom. I made an assignment called Submit Here, Letter to Ray Bradbury. So this is where you'll turn it in. Okay?
Is anyone else having problems with Google Docs?
What's wrong with it?
Every single time I go on there, it says no connection. So then I try to trick it by clicking on a new document real fast, and then it says there was an error.
Do you have Wi-Fi?
Yeah, I have Wi-Fi, full Wi-Fi, but it just says
Can
No
you
connection.
restart your computer?
no, you can't restart the Chromebook. It only does that when there's an update.
I can shut down and get back in.
I can try.
Is this good for any law?
It's due by midnight tonight.
reshare if you have a redundant.
Submit it on Google Classroom.
more supplies.